Hi, welcome to today's class this afternoon. Today we will have our first half focused on rehabilitative strengthening and endurance exercises, and the second half of today's class we are focused on hand strengthening and building up our hand strength and endurance. So if you have theraputty, washcloth, a soft ball, a tennis ball, a racquetball, or even a therapy ball. Those will be helpful for you to do the hand exercises. If you don't have any of those things, those items, it's perfectly fine. You'll still be able to do the exercises without them. It's just helpful to have them for a few of the activities that we're going to do. Today's quote is, "Balance is not something you find, it's something you create," by Jana Kingsford. Again, the quote is, "Balance is not something you find, it's something you create." So I chose that quote thinking about how we get so busy and we get caught up in everything that needs to get done, and we start to focus on all the work we have to do, or the chores, or the errands, or the parts of our life that feel like work. And so we feel like if we just try and get more done, then we'll have more time for the things we want to do. And so it's always that feeling of if I can get ahead or if I can catch up. And balance, we just keep hoping that balance will happen. And this quote today is just really bringing awareness to how that balance isn't just going to happen. It's not going to land in our laps. Somebody else is not going to make that balance for us. We ourselves have to make it. We have to make a conscious choice. We have to be aware, and we have to figure out for ourselves what we need to do to make that balance. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's so easy to get very caught up in the moment. And so part of today's quote is just being about being present in the now and having awareness and feeling like we can manage what we have right now, and bringing that own balance by creating it for ourselves and thinking what it means for ourselves as well. All right. With that, let's go ahead and start today's exercises. As always, I always mention that these exercises are recommendations and suggestions. They are optional, and I will always try to give other options that you can do to do the exercises. We know that your body is different every day. Sometimes it's feeling great. Some days it's not feeling so great. So just based on how you're feeling for the day, you choose what will challenge you and feel good for your body to work on the strength and endurance for the first half, and of course for our hand exercises for the last half. So, for now, yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, so just do what you can. Hopefully you will find something in these exercises that feels good for your body and feels right. And we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so make sure we have a good position to start our bodies off with. Our feet flat on the floor, our back straight, our core engaged and tight, and my weight supported by that chair and through my pelvis. Alright, let's take some deep breaths to start. Breathe in and out, in and out, and in and out, in and out. One more, and in and out. All right, so our first exercise will be our neck flexion, so up towards the ceiling. Flexion is actually down towards the floor. Extension is up towards the ceiling. Right. so next is flexion to the side, so right ear to right shoulder, and left ear to left shoulder. Alright, let's go ahead and move to our shoulder rolls. Okay. Alright, so if you need a little support moving your other shoulder, alright, you can put your hand underneath your elbow and then wrap the other one underneath the other elbow, right? Alright, or you can switch here, put the other one on the outside, right? And then you can help push up, right? And if you just have to support that whole arm on top and just underneath, right? If you can't quite grab the other one, that's fine, right? Or if you need to support this one, right, and it just needs to sit on top, you can put under the elbow to help you push up, right, with that shoulder. Right, so that can kind of give you some support as well as helping with that shoulder movement. Alright, and make sure you do your shoulder rolls backwards as well, or just the other direction that you were doing from before. Alright, let those shoulders relax. Let's go ahead and move to our shoulder flexion. Alright, so you can do both together. You can do one at a time. And then you can take trade sides, right? Take turns between sides. Okay, but make sure you try to have even movement between both sides. Okay, if you need support, right? Right, or sometimes here, or sometimes just underneath. Okay. So those are different ways to support. And as high as you can go, right? If this is as far as you can go, then that's as far as you can push your muscles, then that's fine for today. Alright. Okay. And so if you want to challenge your muscles, this is where I talk about the big giant marshmallow, right? You can picture pushing a marshmallow up into the ceiling and then squishing that marshmallow into the floor, right? And you are adding extra pressure and extra tension in those muscles, right? To really try and get an extra push and not tightness, but some extra work in those muscles, right? Because we're strengthening and we're going to work on endurance, right? We want to kind of push those muscles to work harder. And that's what we're doing by imagining that we're pushing on this imaginary elephant, or marshmallow. Great, great. Having word finding difficulties today. Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move into our elbows. All right, so bicep curls, and then straighten your arms out. Support. I can clasp my fingers together. Right. I can also cup them together. Okay. All right, whatever makes that movement possible for you. So you can really focus on those biceps and triceps. Okay. Again, that extra push comes from imagining that you are squishing it against your body and then squishing it down into your lap. Right? So you're just giving an extra push in opposite directions. Right? And you want to go slow and steady in both directions. Right? Slow and steady is making the muscle work evenly through the entire motion, so that we're getting strong for the entire muscle and not just a little part of the muscle. Right? We want the whole muscle to be equally strong. Right? Okay, so that's why we want to be very aware of making sure our movement is nice and even through the whole motion and not rushing through parts and then slow, and rushing through parts and then slow. All right, and we rush. Okay, so rushing means that we are making it easier on our muscles, and we don't want to do that if we're focused on strengthening and endurance. Don't forget to breathe. Right, let's move into our wrists. Right, so wrist flexion, extension. Okay, you can also clasp. Okay. Here, you can still work against yourself, right? You're just pulling when your other hand is pushing. Okay. You could just be doing that back and forth. Right? And you're helping both wrists and both hands when you do that in both directions. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move to our fingers. So make a fist, and then extend our fingers. Make a fist. All right, squeeze that tight, and then go. All right, you can still give yourself extra resistance. Right, this is where I imagine as if I maybe had a dictionary on top of my hand, and I'm trying to lift that dictionary with my fingers, right? So I can imagine that I'm lifting that dictionary and then make my fist, pull out my fingers straight and try to lift that dictionary, right? Okay. So you're still pushing against yourself, right? If you're imagining that push, that extra push. And that's making those muscles work hard, right, through the entire motion. Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our legs and our core. All right, so first we're going to raise our right leg and make a circle with our right leg. Okay. If you can, go ahead and bring that ankle in the circle in the same direction as well. Go ahead and give that a second. We're going to do leg circles again with the right leg, only this time we're going to do circles in the other direction. Alright, if you need a longer break, that's fine. You can just join me after you take your break, have a drink of water, take some deep breaths. Hey, do what feels right for you. Go ahead and let that leg relax. Now we're going to do the same thing with our left leg. So when you're ready, right, go ahead and start your circles. Right. If you need a slightly easier version, you can do it with your leg bent at the knee. Right. A harder version to work your muscle is a larger circle. And larger circle and slower, or just slower, but not a large circle is going to be your challenge here. Okay, so choose the challenge that works best for your leg today. All right, and maybe you'll be able to try a harder challenge tomorrow. All right, go ahead and give that a second. So we need to do the same leg, but then the opposite direction. Next, we have our marches. Okay. Alright, so feet flat on the floor. We're just going to raise our knees. couple more. All right, next we have our core hold. Okay, so we're going to raise our legs, raise our arms, and we're going to hold it here. Okay. All right, if you can't hold it, you can do reps. Okay. Or you can hold it as long as you can. Go ahead and let that relax. All right, moving on to our eye exercises. So we are going to keep our head still, and we are going to hold up our thumb and make a circle with our thumb and follow it with just our eyes without moving our head. All right? So you want to try and make the biggest circle you can. All right, if you need to start by making smaller circles, you can do that. Alright, go ahead and close your eyes, relax your hand, give your eyes a break. Alright, next we need to do the same exercise, only this time we're going to move our thumb in the other direction. I like to switch my arms, but you can use the same arm or same thumb and hand if you want. You can take a longer break if you need to. If you're ready, go ahead and put your thumb up, open your eyes, and make that circle in the other direction. Alright, go ahead and close your eyes and let your hand relax. Alright, our next eye exercise, we are going to hold our thumb still and keep our eyes on our thumb, but this time we'll move our head side to side. Okay, again, you can take a little longer rest if you need to. If you're ready, go ahead and put up your thumb, open your eyes, and move your head from right to left, but still keep your eyes on your thumb. Remember, your thumb is going to be holding still. Close your eyes and let your hand relax. Next one, this is our last eye exercise. We're going to hold up our thumb, and this time, as we keep our eyes on our thumb and our thumb is still, we're going to move our head up and down. Alright, so if you're ready, go ahead and put your thumb, open your eyes, keep your thumb still, Keep your eyes on your thumb and move your head up and down. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. Let your hand relax. Give your eyes a second. Okay. Next we have our mouth exercises. Okay. Alright, so you're going to massage your cheeks and your jaw. Okay, our first mouth exercise is to open your mouth as wide as you can. Okay, next mouth exercise is to smile as big as you can. Alright, if you need a little push. I do it, but I don't talk about it. But I also try to hold it, and sometimes I'll try to hold it in different positions, just to challenge those muscles a little bit. It's also challenging my brain to really concentrate and think about the movement. So you can add that as part of your exercises, or you can just continue just to smile really big back and forth. Right, so just try to hold it in different places during the smile. It feels really awkward, but you're definitely giving those muscles a workout if you hold it in some of those positions that is not a full smile. All right, so maybe just before you get to a full smile, and again, it's a brain exercise as well, to concentrate on that movement and to really focus on controlling the muscles involved with that movement as we make a smile. All right, so just one more time. Okay, our next mouth exercise is our tongue. Right, so moving our tongue back and forth from the corners of our lips. Right? Next, our tongue, try to reach your nose and then try to touch your chin. So up to your nose. And then trying to touch your chin. All right, and really try to reach and push your tongue as close as you can and really feel that muscle working as you go up to your nose and then down to your chin. Okay? All right, our last mouth exercise is to frown and then swallow. All right, so that will conclude our exercises for strengthening endurance. So now we'll move into our hand exercises. All right, so first we're going to do a work with a ball. If you don't have a ball, you can use your theraputty rolled up into a ball. That will work fine as well. All right, so the first one we have is to grip the ball. Right. And hold it, and then relax. Okay, and we're going to do this 10 times. So you can either do 10 times with one hand, you can do 5 times in one hand and 5 in the other. All right, so if you need to assist, right, and hold. Okay, all right, the next exercise is to pinch the ball between your index finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger and your thumb. Okay, so pinch kind of looks like this, right, around the ball. Right, so we're going to pinch, hold, and then relax. Okay, and again, we want to do 10 of these. The next exercise is a very small movement of our thumb. Okay. What we're doing is we're bringing our thumb tip as close to the bottom of our pinky as we can, right? So we want our thumb to be going here, right? So we're not sliding down our thumb. We really want to come from the outside and kind of curl in, right? So if you kind of see, you're going to make a little tunnel there rather than here, right? We want to make sure that there's a little opening, right? So that is the movement we're doing, but we're using a ball to help us roll over. Okay. It's a little hard for me to hold it up while I'm showing you. So with a ball, it looks like I'm barely doing anything, but really moving that thumb across the side of the ball. And again, the goal is to do 10 of these, of this motion. So you can do 5 with one hand, kind of hard for me to hold the ball. It's much easier to hold it this way, and then squeeze and roll it over. Right. Oops. Okay, maybe it isn't that easier. I still lost the ball, and it tried to run away from me. So maybe it's not even easier. Okay. All right. Next exercise is to squeeze it with the sides of your fingers. Okay. So the motion we're doing, our fingers can spread apart and squeeze together, and so it's a very small movement, and they're very small muscles that are responsible for that movement. Okay. So it's all right. It doesn't have to be monumental strength. It just has to be a squeeze. Okay. It's a little easier if you hit it between your fingertips, and if not, you can just squeeze together. Okay. If you want, right, you kind of hold the ball, squeeze around the ball. Without might be easier. Okay, so for our next exercise, we are going to roll the ball out. Okay, so you're going to start with the ball underneath your fingertips, right? So just on the tips, okay? And you are just going to roll it out until it's underneath the palm, right? And then back till it's underneath your fingertips, and then under your palm. Okay, that's what that motion looks like. Really, it's much easier to go forwards. I'm just turned to the side for the camera so you guys can see a little bit easier. But you're going to start just with your fingertips on the ball, and then roll it forward till it's underneath the palm of your hand. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to make sure I do it evenly with both hands. If you're doing this with theraputty, then you're making a really nice snake about now. So obviously if your snake gets too thin, go ahead and ball it back up so that you have enough of a ball underneath your fingers as you do this motion. Right. If you have a washcloth, right, you can just use this rolled up and roll it out. You can also do it with a water bottle. My water bottle is kind of big, but if you have one of the smaller ones, like the plastic ones, right, same thing. It might actually be easier with a water bottle. Okay. All right. Okay, moving on. Well, let's go ahead and do our exercises with our theraputty now. And again, if you don't have it, you can just go through the motion and push against yourself. Or you can use a washcloth, a kitchen towel, a hand cloth. Any of that will work too if you don't have theraputty. So the first exercise we're going to do with the theraputty is going to hold it in the palm, okay. And again, that motion of bringing our thumb, okay, underneath our little finger, underneath our small finger, okay, is where we want to be squeezing. Okay. So I'm going to bring my thumb over to that space underneath my small finger, and I'm going to squeeze. So squeeze and hold, and then relax. You don't have to hold your hand up. You can put your hand on a surface. Right. Oh, a little bit hard to see there, sorry. Okay. So you can put your hand on a table. Right. That's actually a better position. Okay. It's pretty hard to hold it up the way I was doing before. So I would get your hand down. If you can, go ahead and switch sides. The next exercise we have is also for your thumb. Okay, this time you're going to make a fist with your fingers and keep your thumb out to the side, and we're going to squeeze between our thumb and the side of our fingers, right? So kind of like if I was playing a thumb war with somebody. Okay, right, so we're just put here, just squeeze down. Okay. Right, you can always rest your hand palm up. Right. You can also rest the palm down. Okay. I think to the side is a pretty comfortable, right? So yeah, you saw me putting here, that's not where we want to be pushing. Okay, we really want to be focused on squeezing up here, right, along where our knuckles are, okay, up here, and not squeezing down here by the tip of my thumb, so up here is where I want to be focused on squeezing. Okay, if you can, switch sides. So again, fingers into a fist, and then bring that down on the knuckles, but not your fingertips, right? So up here, not down here. Right? So up here, not down here. And maybe there you can see better, so not here. Oops. It's hard to see there. So here, not here. Up here. Okay. The next exercise is very similar. Instead of my fingers pulled into a fist, I actually want to keep my fingers straight. So this might be easier to have your hand on the table. You have your hand on the table, and I am squeezing my finger into the side, so it looks like this. Looks like that. Right. Try to give you a couple different angles, just so you can tell. Okay. And again, so I just showed you without theraputty or without a towel. Right, if you want to use a theraputty to get a little more resistance. So this is why the table might be helpful to keep your fingers straight as you're squeezing here. Okay, I'm going to switch hands. Right, and if you have to assist, that's fine. Okay. Alright, our next exercise is a different pinch grip. So instead of these two, we're going to use our index finger, our middle finger, and our thumb. Okay. So we're just going to pinch. And we're just going to hold it firmly with the other hand and pull up. Right, and we'll switch hands. Okay. Right, so The next exercise, we're actually going to need it kind of flattened out. Right. So kind of try to make it a little bit of a pancake, right? So not super thin, but you can make it thin. And we're going to work on putting our fingers underneath and spreading it out. Okay, so we're just going to put our fingers in, right? And then what we're going to do is spread it out. Right. This looks like this side. Okay. So here, my fingers, and I'm spreading out my fingers. So here, I'm going to start with them together. Here, right, see them starting together, and then spreading out. Okay. So it's harder if you have it thick. If you make yourself kind of a thinner pancake, because that'll make that a little easier. You also can just do the motion, right? Starting here and spreading out, right? Okay, keep down some point, spreading out. Right, so this is a pretty thick pancake. It's going to be hard to spread. But if I pull it out, flatten it just a little more, right? Well, it's hard to tell. But I did thin it out. So if you make it a little thinner, start here. Okay, and spread it out. And then switch hands, make sure you're evening it out. Right, and if possible, try to remember, did I use a thin pancake? Did I use a thick pancake? Just so that you can try and balance. Balance how hard you're working in the muscles in each hand, so that you are equally exercising both the muscles in both of your hands. Right, so again, start from a point and spreading out as wide as you can. Right, so from a point and out. Point, out. Okay, so it's different than a fist. We're not making a fist. Okay, we're keeping them extended and then pushing out. Okay, so not a fist. Okay, but coming to a point and spreading out. Okay, I'm just going to finish evening out my left hand. Okay, it might be a little easier to have it on the table. Okay, have it on the table and push it out. So I'll try and show you again. Just a different way of doing it. Again, there's no right way, no wrong way. There's many ways to get that exercise in. I start with my point and I push it away. Right. Okay. Ooh, made a nice little face there. I know it's for exercising, but it's kind of fun to play with. All right. Let's just finish out our hand exercises by rolling into a ball. Okay. Right. So trying to get that circular motion. Right. So we'll start with a ball, and then let's flatten into a snake. Or a very giant pill. Once you have that rolled out, I'm still just with one hand. I'm just going to alternate pinching. Okay, so I'm going to pinch and take turns pinching each one and just pinch all the way down until I get to the end. I should be able to pinch each about 4 times on the snake, but however long your snake is. Alright, I'm going to do it with my other hand, so if you can. First into a ball. Right. When you feel like you've got that going, right, then roll your ball into a snake. And snakes, remember, then we're going to pinch with each finger and down along the snake until I run out of snake. All right. That is our exercises for our hand strengthening and endurance. So I hope you guys enjoyed our class. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating and joining us for this class today. Like I said, these are always options and suggestions. So hopefully you found something that you want to try at home and continue doing. And we are always welcoming your feedback, so let us know if there's something else that you would like to work on or something else you'd like to see in our classes. We'd be happy to try. Again, thanks for coming, and we will see you at 10 o'clock for morning mindfulness and stretches, and our strengthening and rehabilitative strengthening and endurance exercises will be at 1 o'clock. All right, thank you. Have a good day.